Okay, okay. One more to help flush this whole cuties thing out. Okay, here. All right, one more time. One more time. Okay, what I think. I've had some time to digest this. It's a bit of a reaction to it. I had some time to process about this whole cuties story without seeing the movie yet. I think what Sundance is praising it for is cinematography, the quality of film, the poetry of it all. I think that's what they're praising about, and the subject matter of well, children having to deal with adult issues. Yes, we've had that before. We've even had things that made us uncomfortable, like in anime with Goblin Slayer. Well, that wasn't really too much of that, but well, okay, those are bad examples. But the thing is that things that make us uncomfortable, the situations make us uncomfortable. Where you know this woman lied. This woman got raped by goblins. It's like, yes, this is show how intense and real these worlds are. They don't pull their punches, but it makes us uncomfortable, and everyone gets all upset about that. But we also have stuff where kids are involved, where they have to grow up real fast, like Carl from The Walking Dead, the kid from Grave of the Fireflies, um, numerous other ones that we all know of and seen, where the child has to grow up fast, where childhoods are ended, and all that stuff, and and they make for very compelling stories, tragic stories too, and that I believe that's what they're not necessarily trying to show. Okay, what this movie comes off to me as is basically the subplot to Sister Act 2. For those of you who don't know or haven't seen, because you weren't born yet, was Sister Act was about this mobster's girlfriend who saw him murder somebody, so then she goes into hiding as a nun, starring Whoopi Goldberg, and she comes across and is hidden at a not a convent but at a church in Chicago, I think, or New York, I forget, but somewhere in there, and she befriends the choir and helps them to be like the best choir like ever. Like they become like these really great singers. Like even when the Pope or the Duke or somebody comes by to watch them, because they're able to incorporate newer songs. Let's put it that way. Not they're still considered classics even when the movie was made. They were still considered classics, but still considered like light rock at the time. Um, but yeah, they had a good songs, and they did that, and the church was saved, ish, and it read a bit kind of like the Blues Brothers storyline, where they have to save the church, so they have to be popular again. So part two is where they have to bring her back. She's in Vegas. She's her lead character. I think his name was Sister Magdalene. I think her name was, and she's on stage. She's trying to cash in upon her popularity with the church, through with media and all that stuff. So she's there in her church garb, going up on strings because it's Vegas. You got to be flashy about it. So that doesn't exactly go over well. The string part, the singing is fine, but then the other nuns show up and say, "We got to bring you back. You got to teach this class how to sing," and they are singing, and it's like blah blah. So she does that part, but the subplot is where this one girl who has a mom who says, "No daughter of mine or child or whatever is going to sing. Your father wasted his life on that somehow." So she doesn't want her to sing. She wants her to get a real job. She wants her to be a realist. Okay. But it's like, but I gotta break free and prove that I am got what it takes to be a famous singer. That could prove my worth. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. You gotta get out of your oppression and prove to you yourself and your oppressed person that you can achieve this. That you got what it takes. Okay. So they believe 11-year-olds could do the same fucking thing while twerking. What? Okay, so this child is 11 years old. She has an oppressed, strict family. Okay, she has a strict family. All right. And she comes across this. She lives on the outskirts. So it starts off in the outskirts. Okay, so it goes out into the outskirts. So, yeah, the rules of law of society are a little bit loosened there. Okay, fine. But she has a strict family. Okay, we got that. But then she wants to break free and join this twerk group in order to get into a competition to be a good dancer. So they all want to be good dancers and know they have the skill for it, but twerking is the way to go. It's their dance theme. That's what kind of pisses everybody off. If they weren't twerking and they were just dancers, I think it would have made a lot less of a hassle about it. But you say like, well, it's like, it's like children not knowing adult concepts. It's like, yeah, why don't I stand here on this, street corner and smoke this cigarette while I'm at it? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, what bad could it be to smoke a cigarette? It looks cool, doesn't it? Well, yeah, but what shit does to you? It's like, and um, it's like, yes, children are oblivious to adult concepts. It's new. That's again nothing new in movies or in media, but to say that that was the only route to go needlessly. It didn't have to happen that way. There's no drive to say it has to happen that way. The family isn't starving. There's no. The only competition in town is a twerking competition. It's just, it's uncomfortable, so let's go the uncomfortable route because no one's really taken the uncomfortable route before. Okay, I can see where you're going with that. I can see your merit in that. Okay, but there's no drive to have to do that in story. It's just she wants to break away, and this uncomfortable path for the audience is where we have to go. It just seems like it just seems needless, other than for it to be pedophilia material. It's like there was a movie. It was called, I believe, it came out in the '90s. It was called Striptease. I bring this up to show the obliviousness of a child. Uh, it was supposed to show like behind the scenes of a strip joint where it's like everyone has all this drama going on, and one of the lead strippers, one of our lead characters, I forget her name, but she was a very accomplished actress, and um, so her character has this child, this 10-year-old, 11-year-old girl or whatever, and she has to babysit her constantly. I can't remember exactly why she has to bring her to the strip club, but she has to because she can't leave her alone for whatever reason. And so the girl is backstage, not really aware of what was going on, anywhere else in the building. So, but once the child was able to watch the mom dance, and the child said, "Oh, I saw you. You were beautiful." And she's like, "Oh, you thought I was beautiful?" It's like, yeah. I thought that's really embarrassing. Like that manga. Like I saw that one episode of that manga artist guy who draws the what was it called? Something balls man. It's supposed to be like a joke on One Punch Man, but even they reference that where it's this crude manga about some character doing something or other, but the guy is a crude manga artist, and so he has this reputation and everybody loves him, but he doesn't want his daughter to know what he does, so he like tried really really super hard to just keep that her aside from all this, and she's completely oblivious. For like 18 years she was just so oblivious to what he was doing to support them. See, that is the point. He has to do this because that's what he's good at. He can't write or draw. It's like write what you know. It's why Michael Bay sucks at making Bayformers, is because he can't write giant robots. So he's kind of stuck making these manga. So he has to support his family. That's what he's really, really good at. So yeah, when you when you have to when you have to do something uncomfortable, it's a lot more accepting than versus, well, let's just do it more because. It's like, doesn't make any sense. You're not going to root for the underdog when he has to crawl through the landmine when there's clearly, a path with a giant neon sign that says, path around landmine here, you know. And he's like, well, I could take the path with this giant neon sign that says safe path, or I could crawl through this landmine, you know. It feels like that. It's like, it feels needless. You don't have to do that. But yeah, if the goal was to make the audience feel uncomfortable with understanding concept, but the damn thing is, twerking is something more of what teenagers should do, not children. And yes, the sexual awakening, sure, let's call it that, is just not. It's just not. The story's not set up for it to be utilized that way, and it's hard to explain because it's like it's just so needlessly uncomfortable. Like a lot of horror films, it's needlessly uncomfortable. It's like we're stuck with the stupid thing again where something happens in the background and people die or something creepy happens. It's like, yes, 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 we get it. Ooh, jump scare, uncomfortable, isolation. Ooh, it was the possessed doll the entire time. Ooh, It's like, it's a little, it's annoying. So, how do I wrap this up? I can see what the movie's trying to do, but it does so needlessly. There's no backing for it. There's no starving family. Uh, there's no push for it. It's just, I want to break free and do these adult things, or even she doesn't even perceive them as adult things. It's just something new to do. It's like my friends are doing it, and I want to do it too. I rather like it. That's it. That's your motivation. Uh, it just comes off as needless. The front and the back are not matching up. It's like not the horse before the carriage. It's just like it's a horse with a station wagon. It just does not fit. Your backing isn't there to support your foreground. And your foreground's not there to support your backing. To pull to one to the other. So your fluidity from transition from cause and effect does not compute. Again, it was more third world, and maybe that make more sense. Maybe again, I don't know. I don't know how to make the story better. If you're trying to go for uncomfortable, then you succeeded. But if you're trying to show that grinding, the twerking is okay, it's like, remember when grinding was a thing? Remember, nobody liked that either, except for the kids that were doing it because they thought, wow, this is our new thing. It's like, and then those kids grew up and say, twerking? You shouldn't be twerking. See, that's the thing. You grow up and become an adult, and you see how embarrassing it is seeing a child do adult stuff, and it's like, okay, it is rather off-putting. It's like, yeah, dingus, it is off-putting. You think he didn't realize that? Well, it's different when I was doing it, because, it felt appropriate when I was doing it. Yes, a lot of generations felt it was appropriate when they were doing it, when they were fighting their wars, for legitimate reasons. Let's not kid ourselves here. So yes, a lot of generations grew up being hypocritical. Remember, our grandparents and great grandparents were swingers children, not that type of swingers, the original swingers with the big body movements and moving around, loud body language while they danced. That's what swinger was. And that was frowned upon because it's too loud, it's too big, it's too expressive. So each generation then turned around, got old, and looked at the new generation and said, "These kids, why would they dance like that?" Because that's what they thought was appropriate at the time. Until they grew up and saw the next generation and said, "Why are they doing that? It's very inappropriate for a child to do." And until they bothered to look back at themselves, and say, "Oh right, I was doing similar shit too." So it's the hypocritical thing of each generation. And we now, the grinders, look at the torquers and say, why? It's like, because they can. Same reason you did it when you were a child. Because you could. You know? That's not an excuse or anything, but it's an objective observation of society. Just saying. I don't know how to make this film better. I don't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. All I know is it's mismatched with your cause and effect, with your plot. If your goal is just to make people uncomfortable, then congratulations. Other than that, if it's a well-told story, maybe we'll get points for that. If it's a well-told story. What was it they said in the Stone Gremlin Productions team midnight reviews? They said, say what you will about Joseph Goebbels, the man was a fascist and a monster, but at least he can actually make a film. It's like he has quality. He knows how to make a movie. So this guy can't. For Hillary's America. It's just, yeah, and I saw that film. That it is a terrible film. So yeah, so that's my digested rant on Cuties. It's just whatever, man. Whatever. I'm just gonna find anything else to watch right now. All right. So you take care, all, and I hope this helped. And kind of think twice about your themes for making a movie. I know I will. All right, take care. Bye.